overwhelming experience when you're just starting out and you're looking at all this information, and I want to tell you that I really understand that it's like that, and I want to, if you're feeling like this, you have a reason to. It's really a lot of information to take in. There are a lot of decisions. אני רוצה להגיד משהו אחר, אני אעשה את זה בהיברו. יש מישהו כאן שלא מבין אנגלית? שקשה לו? אוקיי. אם אני אומר משהו באנגלית, זה קשה, אז פשוט wave me. So I know that it's a very difficult experience to try to piece together, and everybody's giving you different information. So I just want to tell you that for me, very much, besides the fact that I'm here to help people find donors, and that's really our specialty. Mostly we work with families who are looking for donors. A Jewish Blessing specifically looks for Jewish donors. Our second organization looks for non-Jewish donors. So we have donors, basically, that's our specialty. But we're here really to help support everybody through the process. And so a lot of what our work is not only just finding and helping people find donors, but we do a lot of free work in the community. And that's about just sharing information. And this is what we come with. We have 75 years of medical experience in our donor organization. I'm a nurse, my partner is a nurse, and we have another physician's assistant on the team. And so between us, we have 75 years of medical information and background, and really we love that we have that knowledge because it's been obviously very useful. We screen our donors differently, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But basically, I want to tell you that we approach everything we do with our medical background and our understanding of what the needs of our clients are. And really, we're here to help you make sense of what all the information is. And it's really to give you the benefit of the years that we've been working in the field. I've been working for the last 16 years in Poriyut. Before that, I was a psychiatric nurse, so that was also a good thing to bring into this because everybody needs to know when they're going through it. So we're happy about that background that we have. I want to also share with you that for us, our clients are our entire world. We value every one of our clients. It's very, very important to me to not grow very big. And from a business standpoint, that's probably really dumb. But I decided many years ago that I really wanted to be able to give every single family who came to me one-on-one care. And because of that, we've never really tried to become one of these big agencies. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to give each one of my patients an experience where they feel very much supported through the entire tanich, without ever feeling like, they're talking to my secretary. I don't have a secretary. I answer, you know what I'm saying? So I have really it's very much one-on-one. So you can show that. That's my matara. That's what we look to give. We're not looking to be big. I want to share with you that we've been doing this work almost 10 years now. And people like to tell you how many babies they had, and so in 10 years you would imagine I would have a lot of babies that were born, but we have about 130. So if you do the math, you see that really our clients are we're small, and we like it, and it's good for us, and it's good for our patients, and that's what we come to you with. For me, the information and trying to figure out what's important and what's not important when you're going through this process is the hardest part. And there's no reason that you should know what's going on because you're new to this. And many of my families come to me and they really are missing pieces of information. So I'm not only here again to find a donor for a family, but I'm here to give you everything I know so that you have the information, because if I give you that information, then when you go to make decisions, which clinic you want to go to, which toremet you want, how you should pick her, all of that stuff has to do with the information that I have that I want you to have. So for me, education is everything. I spend a lot of time educating families. I educate families who I never match with a donor. Gam lo akhpat li, I'm not looking, that's our free work. We do that in the community. We teach everybody what we know. I've gathered 16 years of information. My partner in the practice is also a nurse who's been working, and all of us have information, and we'd like to give that information to our families because otherwise you don't know. And it's one of the issues that comes up for our families over and over. They come to me, and some of them, it's even more my straight families, because they were doing IVF for a long time. They come to me and I tell them something, they say, I didn't know that. And they've been 7, 8 years already doing things and they didn't know. So for me, it's very important to give you the information. We're going to be at a table downstairs, and tomorrow I'll be doing free consults all day. And I'm in Israel every few months, and I love Skyping. And I will give you as much time as you need. And it doesn't matter if you work with me to find your donor. I'm just telling you that I'm offering it. Please take me up on it, my offer. So I want to tell you about the screening process for our donors and the information that we give you. This is one of my big issues for our donors. We spend 3 to 6 months to screen one donor. And sometimes when we finish in 6 months, we say no donor. For me, what's important for every family who comes to me is that you have this. This is the whole picture. Grandparents, aunts and uncles. You want to know about her brothers and sisters. It's important for me to give you all that information because I feel like it's your right to know as much as possible about these donors. It is very common in the egg donor world, I don't know so much here, but in the United States, for you to get a profile of a donor and it has nothing on it. And that isn't, we feel so strongly about that Sivan works her butt off to get you the information. Our talich is to gather information about our donors. Speak. So you can have this donor, but you don't know about her aunts and uncles and her brothers and her grandparents, and you don't know if one of them has schizophrenia or you don't know if one of them, and if you have this kind of a profile, see, this is my focus, is to not have you necessarily find the most beautiful donor, but for you to understand what you really need to look for. Again, the education. I want you to know how to look for a donor, because otherwise you might think, it's carefully, and it's really not true, because you could get somebody who looks gorgeous. I can't tell you how many beautiful women we have rejected from our donor pool because the family history wasn't good. I will share with you that Sivan was old enough to donate, or young enough to donate, cannot donate. We rejected her from the donor pool. So, because of family history, not because she's not wonderful, she's wonderful. Misiratenu L'Kehila Yehudit, I want to tell you that we're very invested in the information that the Jewish community needs. And for us, that meant that when we started working in the Jewish community 10 years ago, or almost 10 years ago, we started to keep track of all the children. Why? My Toromot can donate up to 6 times. And if they donate up to 6 times and then they have children, now we're counting how many families? 7 families with children, some of them with a few children, a lot of children. And then they come on birthright and they make aliyah and they end up at the clubbing in Tel Aviv and all of this. And I feel like you have to know where these children are. That doesn't mean I want to give you the names of every child that was born from your Doremet's eggs, but we want to be able to give our families enough so that they're not worried. You're not going to worry now, I know. You're going to worry 25 years from now when your really gorgeous daughter is dating a guy who looks similar. So I don't want you to lose sleep about that. And so we have made a commitment. And for a family to come to us and work with us, for a donor to come and work with us, they have to be willing to share that information with us. So we won't work with a family who says, you know what, I don't want to tell you what my kids' names are when they were born. I don't want to tell you. I have families. Sometimes they feel like a little, like it's private information. And then I say, I'm really sorry, but we can't work with you, because if I allow that to happen, then you use the same donor, and then guess what? You have a child out there nobody knows about. And then you have a problem, maybe. Because we all know that the Kehila Yehudit, it doesn't matter. Sometimes I have families in another country, and they think, no big deal, I'm in France, my kid's not going to meet somebody in America. And I say, go to Tel Aviv. Just come to Tel Aviv, hang out for 1 week in Tel Aviv and see the clubs and see where everybody's from. You don't hear one language, you hear the whole world. So we're very committed to the Jewish community. I also want to tell you that I'm very, very aware of the burden financially to our families. It's huge. We try very hard to teach you the tricks that can help keep the costs down. There are tricks to help the costs be contained. We also have a tzedakah fund. Every family comes to us who needs extra help, we give them a certain amount. It's not a very big fund yet, so right now the amount of money we can give families is not a lot, but we're giving $1,000 to anyone who needs it. I don't have to see your tax return. I don't need you to tell me why you need it, but we give you money because we want to help with this. We also recently started a Jewish egg bank. And I don't know, see, I'll talk to you more about that if you're interested, but it's another thing we did to try to help our patients who don't have enough money to do this, do something a little bit different that will help keep the cost down. And we have other tricks about keeping costs down, but and then of course we, as I said, we donate a lot of free time to anybody who needs to just talk about what's going on, and that's free. I've been working in the Jewish gay community for a long time now, and for me it's an honor. It's really, I don't know what else to say about it. I love it. I feel very blessed that I get to help. We're very aware of the issues that come up for our gay dads. If fathers come to us and they have a dilemma in the United States and they want to get Beit Din to say Rasmi, she's Yulia, we take care of that for you. Whatever it is that you need, we help you, because I didn't say this, I'm my father was from Yasharim. So I went to yeshivot and I went to seminary, and I know the halachot, and so anything that you need to try, because the goal is not so much to let you come home with babies, but to come home with the babies and have them be able to have a normal life here without the stigma of, oh, they're not really Jewish because this one wasn't Jewish and that one. So we help wherever we can to try to make it so that it's going to be easiest for you to come back with your children and then have a normal life and raise them and worry about who they're going to.
As we know, the surrogate need to be Jewish so the kid would be recognized as Jewish. So.
That's right. And that's okay. So I want to add to that we are. I have found Jewish surrogates for families, but now we're in a new place where we're going out mamash full force in the Jewish community because we're trying to find Jewish surrogates for families. And it wasn't until my gay dads from Israel started to they would come home with their kids, they were excited, and all of a sudden, guess what, they have a problem. So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to start to try to build a Jewish pool of carriers. Much, much harder to find than somebody from the Midwest who's not Jewish. There are many. I can ask you, Victoria, how many Jewish carriers you've seen in your life?
Very few.
Very few.
I can count on.
So just so you know, we're going to be working on trying to gather a pool together. I'm not going to, and I'll refer to you.
That's great. We can talk about that more.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's my goal. So we're really trying to.
I know that there is a problem with this because... אוקיי, אני יודע שיש בעיה עם זה בגלל שאם יש איזשהו ספק לגבי האם התורמת ביצית הייתה נשואה או לא נשואה באותה תקופה, אז יש ספק, יכול להיות ממזר, ואז ממזר לא יבוא בקהל ישראל, וזה הרבה יותר קשה.
זה כבר מסובך, ולא כולם מסכימים על זה. He asked a question that I'll try to do about whether the egg donor can be married or single, or whether there's a problem with a married egg donor. So I'll answer you that in many cases the egg donor is married to a guy, and then it's not a problem at all. It's not a problem. Just so you know, if it's a guy that she's married to, the Rabbanim I'm talking about the Rabbanim in the Orthodox community, they're fine with it. The problem is if she's married to a Jew, and then we try to find out. You have to speak to somebody to get the final. But even Pua, here, I think we'll let you. I've talked to them. I have clients who call. It's a little bit complicated. And it's best. If I could find a Jewish donor who's not married or who's divorced or who's married to a guy, better. It's true, but I'm not sure you can't. Because, again, logically, if you think about mamzer, it shouldn't be a problem, right? She didn't sleep with anybody. It's not like she's a married woman who slept with somebody. I've had Rabbanim give us a heter for that, but we have to check. We have to check again. Each time I check from scratch with the family I'm working with. But thank you for asking, because that's good. That's a true problem. We're starting a brand new donor pool from Israel. It's hard to find Jewish donors in America. It's hard to find Jewish donors in America who are Jewish on the right side of the family.
What does that say?
יש תאומות שהן יהודיות בצד האבא, אז בכלל לא, כאילו, היא לא יהודיה, she has Jewish blood, but she's not quite, she doesn't make it. So we have a new program. We're working with Basaf HaRofeh now. We're building a program. We're going to be working with only specific clinics in the United States. We send our patients to the best clinics in the country. That's our thing. I don't just want to give you a donor. I don't just want to give you advice. I want you to get pregnant and have babies and come back and be happy. I don't want to see anybody fail. And there's a big difference. And we're this program, even though, and Sivan's already screening women here in Israel, but it's not running yet. We're just in the process of building it. I'm hoping within the next half year we'll have everything set up so we can actually start. And then you can have a girl from here. It's less complicated. And if your data is that your kids are going to meet each other, I wouldn't worry again about that because we're going to keep track. So I want to tell you that I'm thrilled to be here, and I would love to talk to each one of you, and whatever I can do to help you, I'll cover it. I don't know if we're out of time.
We have about 3 minutes for questions.
I'm not a public speaker, so I have no idea how to time this thing. So I have time. We have 3 minutes. Sivan says 3 minutes. Shabiri.
Okay. I don't know the professional lingo, so I'll ask in Hebrew. From your experience, ההבדל בין עוברים מוקפאים לטריים.
אוקיי, אז אני אגיד לך שבהתחלה אני עשיתי את המקסימום לשכנע אנשים לא לעשות דברים מוקפאים. I'm going to talk English.
Yes, please.
Okay. I used to do everything to convince people not to ever do frozen unless they had no choice at all. Over the last few years, recently, there's been a really big change in the techniques of freezing, and so we're finding that the difference isn't so big. Not only that, in some clinics, their statistics are better when they're using frozen because it gives them the time to prepare, and Victoria probably knows about this, the uterus of the carrier. So whereas before I would have said to you, please don't do any frozen, I don't say that anymore. Now I say to you, you can do frozen if it works better, sometimes there are reasons it's better, but go to the right clinic to do it. Don't just go anywhere. That's the big key there.
So 2 minutes.
Yeah. Thank you, darling.
You talked about the phrase of having a situation with two brothers with go
right.
out together.
Right.
What is the solution to tell you inform
the
the
couple
names?
You have a son. No,
name?
I'm not going to give out names because unless people agree to have names, so probably it's not going to be names. But I can say to you, you know what? Your donor gave her eggs to this family. I'm not going to tell you who it is. And there's a child who's a male child born on this date. There's a female child. It's something, anything. So we'll have some information. You can always come back to us. I'm not putting this information away. If I retire, someone else is going to have the information. I'll make sure my clients know. It's a very big issue in the Jewish community. It was not a big issue for me when I worked in the big community of the world. I didn't worry about children meeting at all. I didn't worry because I knew that there were people who had done the math and they figured out that you could have a lot of kids out there without it being a risk. In the Jewish community, the numbers don't work, and you have to have somebody keep track because if you don't keep track, you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble.
So the couple, usually the couple come back to you and ask, or you?
Everybody knows that the information is available, so it's there. I don't necessarily, and one of the reasons I don't send the information right away is because if your donor didn't finish donating and she didn't finish having her own children, we don't have all the information. Mm-hmm. So you need sometimes that period of waiting.
And it's also, I think, not relevant.
It's not relevant when right.
Until the...
לא תדאג עד הפועל שהם מתחילים לצאת, כאילו...
It's not as great than it used to be, but it's...
Right.
Okay.
So the solution is that either you come to us or we're going to come to you, but we know, and our donors know as well that they can come to us. We tell them we want them to come to us because a lot of our donors nobody thinks about this. A lot of families don't think about it. They think no big deal. Or sometimes people say to me, do you not match 2 families in Tel Aviv with the same donor? It doesn't matter if it's Tel Aviv. It doesn't matter really at the end of the day, again, because all you have to do is come hang out here and see. Mm-hmm. My children are from America. They're all here.